All right. So what's happening is there's propaganda going back and forth. I can't tell you what's essentially propaganda. From here, I can't tell you what's propaganda, what's not propaganda, but it looks like a propaganda battle. You know, he says, she says even going on and all that crap. So you got to get away from it. So this GHF guy, a lifelong humanitarian, whatever his name is, and the guy that's on the scene who's working for him, just go to, what you need to do is go to contact all the Arabic nations. And if you can't do it, you can't do it. If somebody's restricting you, I don't know if somebody will restrict you. But what you need to do is contact all those Arabic nations, get their funding. You can do it if you want to put it under your banner, but you don't have to. Somebody has to be like the chief civil affairs person, and you have to go and contract others if you don't want to do it. Right. But they'll pay them. I'm sure they'll pay the money if you do it. So again, this may all be propaganda. I don't know who's CIA and who's not. That'd be anything else. Right. CIA has just failed at everything they try. Just a bunch of scammers getting rich. Right. So what you want to do is get as much of the funding promised and, make sure it's real and all that. And I'm sure they're good for it. Right. And then there's people around the globe that'll go in and do that for you. And then the kids will even work. I know I've already contacted people in the mines. You got to find them. But the kids said they'd even work. They'd clean up. So you don't have to clean up. You just keep cooking and keep cutting the food, and the kids come by and clean the mess up. Right. Get some teens in there. Keep them busy. Give them a future. Right. And then it'll be over. You'll figure it out. You just have to get the funding. As far as pulling the UN in, again, we're getting into this. As soon as you try to pull the UN in, the IDF says something, the UN says something, the IDF says something, the UN says something, and we get nowhere. Right? I don't have time. It's the way my coworkers were in the government, and how all the other military people when I was in the military. I don't have time for that shit. And neither do you. And neither do the people that are dying or not dying. Again, you say nobody's dying, but. Right. Well, you're saying that there still needs to be a woman got arrested for being at McDonald's after 5 p.m.? What? School kids were not let after 5 p.m. McDonald's called the police after an argument escalated. Wait, she's just a kid. What the hell are you doing there? What's that, the UK? Are you all weird? So again, just get the guy, your big boss can probably call, at least get to the ministers. I don't know if you get to the big leader, right? I mean, you could put a call into MBS and could put a call into the rest, and they'll have. I'm sure tell them it's about increasing food aid and medical aid, and what else could you do? And supplies in the Gaza, and you're already in there in your GHF or whatever you call yourselves. All right, so let me find where that is. I'm sure they'll fund it. I'd be surprised if they even Turkey. I'm feeling like somebody in Turkey's here, and it might just be some of their spies or something. But they're saying they believe that their country will fund that, and then you're in like Flint. Then you put a bunch of people to work. Trump will be happy. You get a bunch of Americans, put them to work. Well, that's pretty much who I think Israel would want them to be. Maybe you can get some UK people in there too. But again, they're going to be a little selective about who comes in. I mean, not absolutely selective, but right. I wish we could move to the point where we could take some what do they call it, Arabic people in, some of the military from the Arabic nations, as peacekeepers, and have them run the operation. But again, that's what we're essentially doing. We're taking former military types, and we're creating a civilian civil affairs unit, and a security unit. Well, if you're waiting on the United Nations, then you're going backwards. I have no idea what's going on there, but what you need to do is do what I'm telling you to do, and then we'll be somewhere. I'm hoping Israel will eventually be part of it in civil affairs and train their people on how to effectively manage a quote unquote occupied territory or whatever it is. Right. Well, I mean, I'm familiar with what the government does, and it kills its intelligent people, so it can put up its junk people. It's people that'll just do whatever they want and harm people and do crazy shit. So I know there's not a lot of intelligent people left around, but somebody's got to be out there. Hopefully, I mean, it could be nobody. Might be just a bunch of talentless pieces of shit making their money, laughing at everybody. Pretty much in every church anymore. The one in West Texas is in the military base. What about that land that Texas gave? Well, the military base makes sense because you already have security, I imagine, right? Which makes it easier. You have an external security. Crazy stuff online here. So again, I mean, we don't have to fight every battle where they say somebody was rude to us. I mean, because ICE. I mean, I can't even imagine the number of operations. So you're going to have one or two operations where somebody goes foo, because they don't like you and you don't like them, right? And let's not hide the fact, right? We have to do. What is that? Oh, darn it. All right, we got to fix something. That can't be happening. I'm not sure what the answer is to that because I don't have the investigative notes. So again, the bottom line is with the GHF or whatever it is. I guess that's where I was trying to go. I got sidetracked here. Yeah. All right, just you seem like you have people that have credibility. I guess this guy's name is Chaplain Fay or Chapin Fay. What's his history? Who's he work for? What has he done? Is he capable? Mission whether you choose to accept it or not. This public affairs guy, what is he? He can do it probably, but he needs some military guys who have the larger experience. I guess he has military guys around him. Just go to the Arab countries and ask them to finance it. Say, well, you can come up with your plan if you can. If you don't, you don't have to. You just, you know what you want to do. So what you do is you bring in, you either do it or you bring in someone else. There's contractors everywhere. Again, there's a work slowdown across the world, or at least across this country. You'll go for civil affairs people and have them run a civil affairs mission. It'll work. Right. But somebody has to do it. Again, if I was over there, I'd be like, look, okay, who can call MBS's office? We got to call MBS, get money. Right. Agreed. I'm sure they pay money. I'm sure of it. But I mean, at this point, unless there's something I don't know, right? Because his spies are looking at you. All the spies in the Arabic countries are checking you all out. So I don't know, what they know and what the truth is. But if you're legitimate, they'll give you money. No, because it looks like you're doing the right thing. But again, the idea is you don't have a big enough operation, and it's not that difficult, right? This is. All right, so again, these type of issues with looting and stuff, you bring in these people, right? And we don't want people to be killed. Again, the idea is once you increase food beyond a certain point, food and supplies, there's just going to be a lot less looting. Now, you might still have like Hamas because you're going to try to keep them out. Right? But the everyday person and the everyday group should. And again, bring in all the Palestinian tribal leaders. All you got to do, like I'm telling you, all you got to do is call. Again, what I would do is I would first speak to the tribal leaders and say, look, if we got funding, would you help us at a much larger scale? Could you provide us with who we need? And they'll probably say yes. And then you go to the Arabic nations and you say we've spoken to the Palestinian tribal leaders and they understand that we're going to seek funding to increase our operation. Again, I don't know if you want to run it or you want to contract someone else and use somebody else's name. But somebody has to be the chief that sits. Again, it has to be run like a military operation. There has to be a command center. There has to be a map. There has to be everything that they run these type of operations. Again, what you're going to do is you're going to leave out any type of combat operation, but you still have a security operation, and you still have a the supply operation, supply demand is going to be crucial. Is to overly supply the demand. When you get to that point, then you should have no more problems. Because then they'll have backup food that they have. Again, you want to give non-perishables. Right? You tell them to hang on to the non-perishables for an emergency situation. Again, of course, if they don't have food, they have to eat it. But and then increase your kitchens. I don't know. Again, that map doesn't show me what I need to know. It's like where are you actually? Where are your main spots and how are you spread out? I can't tell you where to put anything without a map. But like if you're situated in the south, obviously you need to move them to the north. If you have like a low population in the north, saying, well, we don't have to feed the north, but everybody's overly compressed in the south. Then you put a kitchen up north and tell them to go up north, or even help them with transportation. Then you start spreading people back out again. First you discuss it. Who wants to go back up north. Right? So what you're gonna try to do is return normalcy, normal supply and demand, and normal density of people. We most likely have very dense locations. Now, Gaza City operation, I don't have a lot of information on that, so I can't tell you what to do there. I don't know, because Netanyahu was saying stuff, but I don't know what it means. Like, do they expect the Palestinians to move, right? Or do they want them to? If they're going to stay there, but see, then it becomes dangerous for the GHF people, I imagine. And that's what we're trying to do also, is to put it in secure locations where the active combat is not going on, or the active operations. So if Gaza City is being operated, I don't know what the extent of it is. Again, it may be fine that they stay there. They might have to move. And if they move, the way to do it is to put kitchens in somewhere near Gaza City, but away from the operations. But again, I don't think you're going to have problems getting money from Qatar, or Qatar, whatever they're going to call Qatar, United Arab Emirates, Bahrain, Saudi Arabia. Canada said they'd even help. I don't know, who's here from Canada in here? Inside, somebody from Canada said they'd help. If they didn't ruin my life, I'd probably be there, and I probably wouldn't even have had the October 7th, to tell you the truth. Right. Right. So somebody's just got to go over there, take charge, get the funding, and then just do it. There's nothing to it. It's easy. It's easy. You just need the funding. Once the funding's there, then you have all the people in the world you need to do it with. So go to the Arabic countries and get funding. They'll give you funding if you're honest. Right? If you're not honest and you're not telling me something about GHF like it works, it's a CIA front or something, and you're just scamming, then they're not going to give you money. But I would say just go do it. There's nothing to it. I could do it. I could go over there. They could fly me over there today and give me a team of people, and I could do it. I could feed every Gazan within 6 months, I guarantee it. Probably 3 months. If he gave me enough money, of course. That's why, of course, they did this, right? So, because Slickster won't feed them. He'll call them ragheads. Little girl and Slickster will call them ragheads. Well, stay peaceful. Praise God in all that you do. Praise God.